Guys, today we are talking about Rostelecom. I'm gonna be honest, this competition to me was not as exciting as the rest of them. Like, it took me, I don't know, maybe I'm getting fatigued or something, but it took me like a minute to even watch it. Like, I forgot it happened. There were a few surprises. I would say actually it was quite a surprising competition in terms of the results. But for the ladies, which is the discipline that I'm most interested in, it was very predictable for the most part. But you know what? Let's just jump into it. First of all, I'm not going to be talking about dance. I didn't even watch it. I'm not interested in the field of dance at this competition. Anyways, for pairs in second place, we're going to talk about Balyevchenko and Kodikin. I don't even know how to say their names correctly. I just recognize them, but I don't really think I've ever said their name. But I'm mostly familiar with this team due to like the crazy acrobatics they're known for. And like, to be in pairs and to be known as the crazy acrobats, you need to be extreme, because quite literally the entire discipline is just throwing women around the ice. Like, that's it. And they had a really good competition here at Rostelecom. Even taking the lead during the short, they literally opened with a backflip onto the guy's arms. And I had also forgotten that they had a long program to Black Swan, which again, like, how many Black Swan programs does one need during an Olympics? Here's a clue: none. At least not this soon, not again. Like, we can't have two top skaters having the same Black Swan music like Sagitova and Caitlin Osmond. No. Then in first place we have Anastasia, Mishina, and Galiamo, who to me are definitely the top pairs in Russia right now. And although they had a close call this time a bit by not leading the short program, I still somehow felt they were gonna definitely take the gold of this competition too. Like, to this point, they are to me just the pairs who is the most consistent and clean, and the pairs is such a deep field and such a strong field that it's just what it boils down to. Are you clean? If your competitor makes one mistake, that is as much as it takes for your other competitor to take above you. That made no sense. With just one mistake, it could be enough to lose the competition, because every pairs in Russia is so strong, at least the top three. And for the entire competition and for the entire season, Mishina and Galiamo have been the only team that have constantly been up against the Tutberidze team, Taras and Morozov, and have beat them most of the time. And also, can I just say, I think I've said this before, but Mishina and Galiamo just seem like the nicest people, like very jolly. So let's just go to the men's. And here begin the surprises, because in first place, yes, you heard me right, first, is Morisi, who, if you don't know who this person is, he's actually a Team Tutberidze boy. One of the few skaters who has lasted long-term with a Terry, and one of the only boys who has had more than a couple senior cycles with a Terry, because, you know, a Terry breaks boys. And if you follow the Terry girls like I do, you have definitely seen him around, because he like performs at every Tutberidze show and is friendly with all the famous Terry girls. And honestly, his biggest claim to fame prior to this moment was just playing the genie alongside Camila Vallieva at the Tutberidze shows and in the galas. And now he's a champion of the Russian Grand Prix. Like, what a turn of events. I promise you, no one saw this coming. And most certainly not Tutberidze herself. But it is true. By 1.69 points, Morisi takes the gold. Like, guys, this was so unpredictable that I couldn't even find fan cams of him skating. Like, no one recorded him because no one thought he was going to win. Like, do you understand that? But he won. Like, he had a good competition. And if we're honest, the person who was supposed to win this competition, the one that everyone expected to win, was having a bad moment. And of course, we're talking about Mikhail Kolyada. Mikhail, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, how many times am I and the rest of the freaking world are meant to say, if he just gets it together, his mental game, if he just gets it, you know, his potential, his lines, his skills, his strength, like, he could be one of the top men in the world. But he's just putting a bad precedent now. Like, this could be devastating for the Olympics, because this constant just failure and falls and just not having it together during an Olympic season where you're trying to build trust with your federation, that they can trust you to send you to the Olympics to represent the entire country, is not good. Like, thankfully, men's in Russia is a field that is not as deep as the ladies or the pairs, so I don't believe that Mikhail runs any real danger, especially because the judges really do cheer for him. But this is starting to get dreary, and if he doesn't manage to turn this narrative around, Mikhail could lose his standing as a top man in Russia. And some of you might think I'm being dramatic, but he ended up second by 1.5 points behind Morisi. Listen to that sentence. Mikhail Kolyada ended second behind Morisi from Team Tutberidze and Blue Genie fame. That is insane. I wouldn't have believed you if anyone said that to me a few months ago, and yet here we are. In third place, we have Kazuki Tomono, who is another new face for me. Like, this season has made me realize just how unfamiliar I am with Japanese men's. And I also think that Yuzuru being out with an injury has made these Japanese men get a bit more of the spotlight. And overall, my opinion on Kazuki is that he has an amazing height in his jumps, fire costumes as expected from Japanese skaters, and nice music. Although neither of his programs really like drew me in, I enjoyed him overall. And then in fourth place, I think a surprise, like this was a surprise to me, Roman Sadowski. Like, he has had such, at best, a sporadic season, like with low lows. And he actually did pretty well at this competition. And I don't know about you guys, but I was shocked to see him fourth. Like, given his track record this season, I did not expect this. I've always cheered for him because he looks like someone who genuinely enjoys the sport. He vlogs every competition he goes to. His energy is just so optimistic. So seeing him have like a redeeming moment here truly warmed my heart. And then the reason why you guys are all here, as always, the ladies. First, Camila Vallieva. And listen, as long as Camila Vallieva is in a competition, we just know who's going to win. It's like Anna Shcherbakova at the last 3 Russian nationals. They're just gonna walk home with the gold medal. Like, those are the rules at this point. Or at least it's starting to feel like it with Camila. Like, at this competition, she broke not just 1 world record, but 2. The show program world record previously held by Elena Kostornaya, which she had already broken. Like, Vallieva had already broken that record. She broke it again. And then that crazy score allowed her to break the total score at a competition world record, which is insane. But like, I'm a little conflicted because I'm bored. Like, at this point, with all the hype and continuous world records, this insane scores, like, it feels somewhat unearned. Not because Camila isn't doing crazy amount of quads and has beautiful extensions, but because it's starting to feel like there are no stakes. She is unstoppable. She is Superman. The bullets just bounce off. Like, it's making her feel untouchable. At this point, people, and I am people, are starting to get bored of her amazingness. She was already being named the next Olympic hopeful since she was a junior 3 years ago. And it's just escalated and escalated to like a superhuman level that like she's already the winner to me. So I'm bored by her journey. And I don't know why the press keeps hyping her up this much, because it's just kind of in turn affecting Camila negatively. If they really want us to root for Camila, like, tell us stories about her personal life, or like, I don't know, humanize her a bit. Don't make her this unattainable entity. And like, I'm not saying that to take away from Camila's unbelievable skills, because, you know, she is way ahead of everybody else technically and artistically. She is very good, but the scores that she's getting, these unbelievable scores that she's getting by the judges in terms of also artisticness, and the amount of press that she's getting about her amazingness, is making me feel like the fans are a bit jaded by her. Like, nobody feels like they have to root for her because she essentially has the Olympic medal hanging around her neck right now. I mean, I would say it's a battle against Camila Vallieva and herself at this point, but we all know with the Tutberidze girls, it's always a battle against time. So let's just hope that no injuries come to Camila before the Olympics, which I doubt it because she is 15, but then Daria Ososhova had that freak accident, which I don't even know if it's freak anymore. So yeah, let's just not dwell on that anymore. In second place, we had the Empress, the undeniable crowd favorite, and I'm gonna start to say also fan favorite, I believe, Elisaveta Tuktemisheva. Honestly, her story of fighting against all odds in a sport, especially a discipline like the ladies, that pushes mature adult women out of the way so easily for these young girls, is genuinely inspiring. And like, no other program gets a crowd reaction like her free program. Like, she quite literally is the Empress when everybody just jumps out of their seats every single time. Like, if you don't listen to this performance with like the crowd in the background, like, watch a fan cam. It's the same reaction every single time. People are just so happy that happy music is playing and that she's playing it up and that she's playing to the audience. This is the moment that we want to see, and I need to see it at the Olympics because I know for a fact that the world and the internet will lose its damn mind. Then in third place, we had Maya Kromik. I'm never gonna get this. In third place, for some, might be surprising that we have Maya behind the Empress, who like so far has been also beating the odds, becoming one of the most common Tutberidze girls to land quads at composition and be consistent. But here at Rostelecom, her consistency wavered a bit, and I hope it's not due to some injury or being overworked. Like, to me, it's always been a competition between Maya Kromik and Tuktemisheva this season to see who's gonna get that third Olympic spot. And today, I would send the Empress. Not only does she have the better story, but she has the better track record at this point. I mean, at this competition, I don't really know the track record that well. And also, I'm cheering for the Empress more. Like, like I'm completely biased. Besides, you guys are getting a face reveal regardless of Maya making it to the Olympics or not. Then in fourth place, we had the American lady Mariah Bell. And, you know, Mariah Bell is Mariah Bell, who is at a Russian competition full of Atari girls and the Empress, so she had no chance to medal. But I do think she is slowly inching closer at a chance to represent the USA at the Olympics, because for a while there, I really did not see her coming back to being a lock-in, and she's not fully there yet, but this was definitely a step forward in Mariah Bell's story. Still don't like that dress though, too simple, way too simple. What is that? It looks like a leotard. Anyways, in fifth place we had Luna Hendrix. People have informed me way too much that it's not Leona like you would read it in Spanish, but it's Luna. And Luna looks beautiful as always. She is mature, she is elegant, and she has amazing costumes, much like the Japanese ladies. But much like Mariah Bell, she's also at a Russian competition with a bunch of Tuperita girls and the Empress. So to me, she had no way of getting on the podium unless all the other expected medalists had faltered really bad. Regardless, I enjoyed her performance at Rostelecom. And that was basically Rostelecom. There were a few surprises with the men. The men was definitely more interesting to see. The ladies kind of played out the way I thought it would. Pairs, sure. And dance, I didn't even watch. And yeah, that was just Rostelecom. And I'm sure you guys are going to let me know everything you guys think. As always, shout out to Natalia, Leslie, Scotty, Timothy, Jordan, Antonio Mansaca, Maria, Melissa, and yes, and can you believe this? I don't know, like, if you guys are planning this, like, how is it that you guys are getting an extra person for every new video? I'm starting to get suspicious. Is there a chain? Is there a WhatsApp group? What's going on? Oh wait, I'm lying. Haha, there's nobody else. And if you want to support me, down below is my merch, my Twitter, and my Patreon. As always, I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.